Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Gina, and let's talk about plants. So in today's video, it's the long-awaited, is it really long-awaited? I don't think so. Maybe for some of you, but today I'm taking you down to the grow tent. I'm going to show you all the plants in my grow tent. The plants I'm keeping in there. There's propagations, tons of propagations. Propagations are the main reason for having the tent. For my shop, thepinktrellis.com. So all the propagations I take, I put them into the grow tent. They grow in there. It's my little nursery for all those little plants. They do their thing, and then I send them out into the world to you guys. So you're gonna see everything I am currently growing in the grow tent. So my grow tent is located in the basement, and it's a fairly large grow tent. It's a 10 by 10, 10 foot by 10 foot. We have an unfinished basement, and it's pretty, it's a classic unfinished basement. It does, besides my little corner with my grow tent and all my planty stuff, my husband has his office down there, and also his workout area where they do weightlifting. And then he has his little hobby section where he collects vintage sewing machines. He's into making vintage style jeans. So those are the three sections of the basement. My favorite corner, of course, is my grow tent. So I'm going to take you down there later this afternoon because it's very busy in there in the morning on this particular day. It's workout day, so they're down there doing their thing. I'm going to wait till they're done, and then I'm going to take you down there. So in the meantime, I thought we could do the results of last week's What's Your Favorite Item? Where I show you what's your favorite plant? And I show you two different plants, and you tell me in the comments which plant you prefer. So last week I showed you two Hoya carnosa compactas. One was the regular version, solid green. The other was the variegated version. And overwhelmingly, you guys chose the non-variegated plant, which was, I have to say, it was really surprising to me. Now, unfortunately, I think maybe the reason a lot of you went with that one is because the solid green is blooming. It still is. It's currently blooming. And it's just such a striking combination of that dark green and that beautiful pink flower. And I think it probably influenced a few of you. In fact, some of you even said that normally you would go with the variegated plant, but in this case, you're going with the solid green. So, but even, there weren't that many of you who said that, so I think anyway, I think the solid green would have won either way, even if it wasn't currently blooming like it is and looking magnificent. So I told you I'd tell you which one was my favorite because I didn't want to influence any of the voting last week. My favorite is your favorite. It's the solid green. It's just always been my favorite. I just prefer it. I think the variegated is gorgeous. I have two. I don't just have one variegated Carnosa compacta. I have two. Can't remember exactly how that happened. Somehow I have two. On opposite sides of the house, actually. One's in the front and one's in the back of the house. So, and the one in the back of the house actually grows even better. It's got really thick stems on it, and very similar to the solid green one, which is also at the back of the house. It's the southeast facing where the front is northwest facing. So I think they do better in the southeast facing window, just based on how they are growing. But all are beautiful. They're all beautiful plants. So offhand, I don't know exactly what the final count was on votes, but I will include it up here, the final, and you can see how many of you voted and the results. So thank you guys so much for doing that, for participating in that. Like I said before, I really enjoy learning what you guys like. This helps me know what you guys like, and it just makes me feel like it's, we're interacting. We're doing some interaction. It's not just me sitting here like a dummy talking to myself all the time. It really is an odd thing when you think about it. just, I don't know. It's like space. Don't think about space too much, like the universe too much, because it's just like, I don't know. Don't think about like what you're doing when you're making YouTube videos. I don't know. It's just a weird concept. I don't know. But you know what? I've made so many fun like connections with some of you who have reached out, and it's just, you know, it's totally worth it. It's totally worth the like just the weird uncomfortable feeling of doing this, which I don't really have quite that as much uncomfortable feeling about it. Like once I'm sitting here and I'm doing this, but when I think, you know, before I get into this, I'm just like, why am I doing this? This is just so dumb. Not really. It's not dumb. I do enjoy it. I love sharing my love of plants with you guys, and I love you guys sharing your love of plants with me. And it's just, yeah, it's just pretty cool. So anyway, why am I'm just, once again, going off on a just, you know, whatever. All right, so next time you see me, or I'm here with you, we're going to be downstairs in the grow tent later this afternoon. And yeah, I can't wait to show you. So well, let's go. Hi guys, we are outside the grow tent. Now before we go into the grow tent, I just want to show you current conditions in there. I have not opened it yet. It is all contained. It is, yeah, it is at its peak temperatures and humidity right now. So let's take a look at my controller, which is right there. So this is my Inkbird controller. So it gives me, on the left is the humidity in the tent, on the right is the temperature. So currently it is 83% humidity and the temperature is 79.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So the bottom number on the left, 65%, if the humidity in the tent goes below 65%, this will kick on my humidifier that is in the tent. Typically, this does not happen at all because the humidity stays really high in there. The only time that would turn on is if the exhaust fan kicks on because the temperature in the tent gets too high. Then it sucks out all the air from inside the tent, and then that humidity will drop. So that's the only time that actually will kick on my humidifier, if the humidity goes below 65%. So on the right, the temperature, if the temperature in the tent gets above 80 degrees, then it will kick on my exhaust fan, which will bring it back down below that 80 degree cutoff. All right, let's go in. Let's go inside and take a look. Get it all opened up. I don't typically like open it all the way when I go in there. I go in and then I close it back up so I don't lose any of that beautiful humidity and warmth. So this is me in the tent. It's a big tent. It's a 10 by 10 tent. And yeah, I have so much space in here. It's incredible. So let me bring you in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave all the fans running. So I'll just have to make sure I try and talk a little bit louder so the fans, because the fans are kind of loud. I have three fans in the tent. So there's one in this corner here. There's one right above you, right here. And there is one over here, right here. And it gives me a really nice amount of air circulation in here. So while we're up here, you see this right here? Let me just give you like a little tour of the workings of the tent. So this here is actually an air filter. It's like a charcoal, I don't know, I think this is like this black is like a charcoal, oops, we're moving. A charcoal, let me tighten this so it doesn't move. It's like a charcoal filter. So it pulls in air right here. The air comes in through here and then it moves in and then comes out through this filter. And it kind of, if you ever have had a grow tent, you know that it can get a little bit smelly from just like the soils. You know how stinky some of that stuff can get. So it just kind of filters the air and makes it less like musty smelling, less, you know. So yeah. And so the grow tent is also filled with lots of lights, grow lights. Now some of these I purchased, they were marketed as grow lights, and then some were just like shop lights. And the majority of the light is coming from like a shop light type of light. It's an LED light, and I forget, I'll have to, if I can remember, I'll put it on the screen of what like the temperature it is. Like I think it's like 6500 K, maybe. I could be off, but yeah, I'll put that on the screen if I remember to do that. So, but I have many of those lights in here. They're all like, they're above us, they're here, they are on the shelves here, and then the shelving, they're above these shelves. Now these other lights, they're more yellowish. Those were actually, I purchased those as grow lights off of Amazon. And they're more of a yellow, more yellow light, as you can see, compared, like if you look at this, it looks a bit yellow, and this is more white. I haven't noticed any difference between the growth on the plants. All of them do amazingly with both types of lighting. So yeah, you don't have to spend, like the yellow, these grow lights were more expensive than just these inexpensive shop lights. And these shop lights, as you can see, are doing a pretty amazing job. So what else can we look at? So here's something fun. Okay, so right behind me, you see this shade right here? So in the past, when I would take photos for my shop, for the pinktrellis.com shop, photos of plants for the shop, I would have to gather up all of my plants and take them upstairs and go to a nice like white blank wall and take the photos, because I like to have just like a solid white background for my plants. So my husband installed this for me. So basically this is like a window shade, and he put this, and all I have to do is I pull it down, and then I take a plant. Let me grab a plant. We'll grab this cute little Dischidia right here, and I just stick it in front of the shade like that and take my photo. So I no longer have to like carry all my plants up that I want to sell, take them upstairs and look for a blank wall. I can just do it right here. This is one of my favorite things. Something so simple, but it's just, I love it, love it. All right, so I think that's pretty much all the inner workings of the tent. Pretty much, we have grow lights, my controllers, fans, my handy dandy shade for photos, and I do have there's an exhaust. You can't, I mean, the exhaust fan like main part is on the outside of the tent, and I just have like duct work down here in the corner where it sucks out, like if it gets too warm, and the Inkbird controller flips on the controller to pull out all the heat out of here if it gets above 80 degrees. Well, it comes out of the corner, this corner down here. There's duct work down there, and it just sucks out. You can't see it. Maybe I could take you guys off of the tripod and you can get a closer look at it. Really, you know, it's like, it's not really something you want to see anyway. It's just duct work, right? You don't want to see that, but yeah, and then the filtration. So that's basically all the components of the tent. Now, let's look at the plants. All right, so to start off, let me just give you a overview of everything in the grow tent. I have 3 shelves, 3 large shelves. This is one. number 2, and number 3. And then over here, this is my grid, my wall grid of Hoyas. And then there's also another grid in this corner of Hoyas. I have 2 hanging plants here. This is a Tradescantia, like ignore, you probably noticed this very brown, a lot of brown on this plant. That's because I forget about it and I forget to water it, and as you know, Tradescantias love water, and even though it is in this high humidity environment, it still wants lots of water. So yeah, that's why once I discovered that, it's starting to come back, as you can see, starting to get new growth up there. But I'm trying to remember to water it more often because it really does like water. This is the Tradescantia Pink Panther. I love it. And then in this corner I have a little shelf, and we're just going to start right here. So this is my Anthuriums. This is the Anthurium shelf. Now, as you can see, this is not Anthuriums. We'll go into that later. But at the top, eventually, when these all leave, this will be filled with Anthuriums. But I have a bunch of babies. I'm not going to go through each one. These are not for sale. These are mine. These are all new additions to my collection, all different types. And then this is my Anthurium what is this one? Crystallinum. This one was upstairs in my Millsbow wide cabinet. I brought it down here. I brought pretty much all my Anthuriums down here except for one. That's my silver blush. Beautiful, beautiful plant. This is its newest leaf here, and I just recently repotted it and I accidentally tore the leaf. Otherwise it was just perfect. I love my silver blush. Just a beautiful example of one of those, I think. So let's talk about these down here. So what you're looking at here is all of our vegetable plantings for this year for the outdoor garden. We started them inside, so there's all different types. So we have a butternut squash, and this is yellow squash, which is already starting to get some flowers. Can't wait to get these outside. That's another yellow squash back there, and I believe these are cucumber. This is cucumber. And then here we have a bunch of tomatoes, different types of tomatoes. There's San Marzano, and there's, let's see, Golden Jubilee, and then we have some cabbage. This is pixie cabbage. There's some green onion, red onion, sun gold tomatoes, there's carrot, and more yellow squash. We pretty much pulled out all the yellow squash. These are all like the squashes and the cucumbers that have gotten so big. Like those, I believe, are yellow squash back there. Oh, and there's the ductwork I was trying to tell you guys about. That's the duct. That's where it pulls out air from the tent when it gets too warm in here. So these are the vegetables. I can't wait to get them in the garden. Just a few more weeks. So that's that shelf. So now we're going to move to this shelf, and we're going to start at the bottom. Since I am on the ground here, we're just going to start right here. So this is my Begonia Manaus, which I had to cut way back because it started losing a bunch of leaves and looking really ugly. So I just cut it way back, and it's starting to come back. And this is the Syngonium Strawberry Ice, which was upstairs, and I moved it down here, and it's starting to get some really interesting looking leaves, as you can see. And then this ugly duckling is Begonia Julau. And this one, if you don't know, let me turn around here. This plant, as it gets bigger, it loses that beautiful pink of the leaves. You can see some of the younger leaves still have some pink, but as it matures, it just kind of loses it, and it just kind of looks, you know, just kind of not as pretty, not as awesome as when it has all those pink flowers. So back here, there's a bunch of Syngonium Strawberry Ice. This is mama plant right here. These are her babies back here, growing. Some interesting coloration on those. And here we have more Syngonium. This is a Syngonium Mojito. That's a Syngonium Elbow. There's a 3 Kings back here, and a bunch more Mojitos back there. So like most of my Syngonium, I think I'm going to be selling locally. I may end up having to put some in my shop. I would prefer to stick with smaller plants for the shop, just for the ease of shipping. But eventually, I mean, I may have to end up putting these in my shop. They're not, like when they're this size, they're not so bad. But when they get like really tall, like some of these back here, which I will show you in a little bit, shipping that size is not as easy as shipping like this size. So there's another Mojito, and then these are some lance leaf propagations, which the Syngonium lance leaf is an extremely slow grower for me. It just takes forever for rooting and for growing leaves. I don't know why, that's just how it is. These are some Philodendron Pink Princess. These started as just nodes, getting pretty big. There's some more. This is some of my new Anthuriums here, just little seedlings. And now we're getting into some begonias, terrarium begonias here. These, once again, are not for sale. These are just, this is mine, this is part of my collection. My 2 Pink Lady peperomias back there. And we have some Hoya carrii propagations here. And then here are my carnivorous plants, lots of different ones. The back right corner there, those are 2 plants of Cyclosecta, which I'll put a picture up of what the mother plant looks like, and I just pulled some leaves off, 2 leaves, and 1 leaf gave me that 1 plant, and this leaf gave me 2 plants out of it. That's a Drosera spatulata back there. And this one, this is the Drosera, I can't read it. Interesting though, it is flowering. It has some spent flowers there. These will be opening. That's a cool plant. More pinguiculas. And this one is an Utricularia calicitida, I believe. Look at the flowers on this one. Aren't they cute? Those purple, they kind of remind me of orchids. Eventually, I'd like to be able to sell some of the pings and some of these others, probably mostly just the pings in my shop. Eventually, like those cyclosectas might end up in the shop. All right, moving up. Next shelf. Lots of begonia up here. So these are baby begonia julaus, like mama plant. These are her babies, and they're just starting to get some leaves coming out. Back there is begonia white ice propagations, and some begonia Sinbad in the very back. This is begonia, I believe it's called Kingiana, and I just took leaves from the mother plant and they're doing absolutely nothing. I keep waiting for them to like pop out new leaves and nothing, and it's been a couple months. This is the begonia Benigo pink, and some more begonia Sinbad. I love the flowers on these. I think they're just so cute. And I found begonia Sinbad to be the most thirsty of the begonias in my collection. Super thirsty. Look how pretty that is. Gorgeous. This is begonia Manaus. You saw Mama down there. These are her babies. This one also has really cute flowers. So dainty. I like how they have like a little bit of red on the flowers. So cute. So back here are some Discidias, which will be in my shop eventually. That's Discidia albida in the front, the more like stemmy, like single stem plant. And then back there is Discidia russifolia variegata. Those will be in the shop. So here, some Hoyas. So this is Hoya macrophylla red, which came as an import plant. It was one plant and it struggled, as I seem to have that experience with import Hoyas. They don't do that great. And I ended up chopping it into 3 different plants. So there's this one, that one, and that one back there. And they're growing very nicely. Very nicely. That's a Discidia philippinensis back there. And then this is a Hoya tricolor, which I got from Chris, growing really nicely. Next shelf up. This is more Discidias. This is Discidia tonsuensis. Bunch of propagations. And then back there in the right corner is a Epipremnum pinnatum albo. Back here we have some Hoya australis, bunch of those. Another Syngonium mojito. I should put that one down with the others. And then some more Discidias. This is, I'm not remembering the full name, but it's Camagen Island something or other. Very cute. I have 2 of these. Probably should sell one, but I enjoy them so much. Such cute little leaf shapes. Here is another Anthurium. This is my queen Anthurium, and she should be huge now. She should be as big as the silver blush, which I got at the same exact time as an import. But no, she has struggled off and on, mostly on. I think now we're kind of out of the struggle, and I'm hoping it will one day be beautiful. Back there is some Syngonium aureas that I grew from nodes, and there's more Syngonium back here. Those are, it's a mix. There's some Syngonium aurea, and then there's some believe the back left corner is Panda, Syngonium Panda. Actually, both of those in the back left are Panda, Syngonium Panda. And then we have some Philodendron. These are Glorious, Philodendron Glorious. I just recently chopped up a bunch of my Philodendron. There's Varicosum. This is Glorious, big piece, big leaf. More Varicosum. And El Choco Red. Two of those, this one and then the one behind it. And then at the top, Hoya Pachiclata variegata, which was upstairs, and I just recently moved it down here because it's not growing. And it might be because it has flat mites. It shows like it has flat mites, so I've been spraying it in hopes of killing off any possible flat mites. So we'll see what it does. It hasn't been down here very long, so I don't see any new growth on it yet. But I'm expecting any day to see some new shoots coming out of this stem. This is my variegated prayer plant. It's making a comeback in the tent. And then we have a bunch of Syngonium Tri-Leaf Wonder up there, and a bunch of Scindapsus Silvery Ann up there. All right, next shelf, we have some Philodendron Brantianum. Such a pretty, pretty plant. Beautiful leaf. And in the back, some Melanochrysum, Philodendron. These are Scindapsus here, the jade. Well, this one is Silver Hero, but we have some jade satin back there. And I think that's all. This is Hoya. This is a Hoya Kanyaku Mariana. And this grid, these Hoyas here were all upstairs in my Millsbow White tall cabinet, and they were all in pon, and I switched them over to soil. So they are doing really well. They are starting to put out some new growth. Hopefully you can see. All right, so here we have more begonias. These are actually for sale in my Facebook Marketplace store, I guess you would call it. A lot of the plants you've already seen. This is Syngonium Starlight, another Manaus. So these are exciting. This is my Alocasia Fridex variegated that I grew from corms. And I just love them. So excited about these guys. This one is growing the fastest. Look how pretty. Love that. Look how much variegation. So pretty. This one's a little slower. This one's in soil. These other two are in moss, and this one's in soil, so maybe that is why it's not doing as well. And that's my global green that I've pulled out of my, if you don't know, the Mandula pothos, when it loses, when it reverts, it's considered the global green, but you can see there's still some, look, some Mandula has popped out of it. So I don't think it actually likes how warm it is in here. Probably need to move this one out. I think it's too warm for it in this grow tent. Need to take it upstairs. That's my theory on that. Here's some more Syngoniums, angustatum, some pink spot. Here's more Scindapsus, some tricolors. And all these plants we're looking at, for the most part, will be for sale eventually. Some pink splash, Syngonium pink splash. This is the pink splash illusion. Look at this. That's panda, Syngonium panda. More Syngonium panda. We have some Syngonium red spot tricolors. That one, and that one. Gorgeous. And then down here, these are more that are in my Facebook Marketplace store. And then some, what are these? More Syngoniums, just a mix. Some Three Kings. Here's my Syngonium chia pence. This one was rooting in water for a really long time, and then finally potted it up. More vegetables. And now we're on to the next shelf, which is a ton of propagations. Tons of. A lot of Hoya. Before we get to those Hoyas, those propagations, let me just show you up here at the very top shelf here. This is this container here. Let's take a look at this together. So in here are my import, well, they're not import. These are the ones that came from Plant Stop US. This one here. And I can't tell you the names because I don't know the names of these now. They're mixed up. They all got mixed up. So I'll have to go back to the video to figure out the names. But now this one, actually, this is my Clemenciorum. How do you pronounce that? Clemencorium. Right here. Mine it got root rot, so I'm redoing it. And let's see. I think I don't see any roots coming out of it yet. Oh, no. Is that something? Right there, a little growth point? Maybe? No. No. Not yet. So we'll see if I'm able to save that or not. But all these others, these are all rooted. You can see their roots here. That's a root. All right, so moving back to this shelf, and we're gonna start at the bottom. So I told you these are more vegetables. It's just more of the butternut squash, cucumbers, yellow squash. Not sure if there's zucchini in there or not. So this bin right here is what I typically, all the plants for sale in my shop will be in this bin right here. And as you can see, all we have is one plant currently in there, and that's the Scindapsus, and that is, I believe, the Silver Hero. It's the only plant available in my shop currently. And I really need to redo the photo, because if you look at the plant in my shop, it looks nothing like this now. This thing has gotten huge. Yeah, I do need to redo that. So if you are looking for a Silver Hero. I've got one. I've got a really nice big one. It's available in my shop, and it's been in there for quite a while. And it's just waiting for you. It's waiting for you to buy it in my shop. It wants to go home with you. All right, so here we have some String of Hearts, and this is the Silver Glory, which I propagated these guys months ago, and I propagated them because I've had requests for them, and I am having the hardest time getting these to really like take off. So they'll start growing, and then they'll die back, and then they'll grow again, and then they'll die back. So right now we're kind of in a upswing with this plant. I'm not sure if it's just getting too warm in the tent for this plant more than what it really likes. I don't know, but I think it was Deborah, maybe. I can't even remember. It's been so long that I can't even remember exactly who it was, but she's probably no longer wanting this plant from me. But in case you're watching and you've been wondering what's going on with the Silver Glory, this is them, and I just can't get them to looking good enough to put in my shop to want to sell them. I don't know. I'm just kind of struggling getting them going. So hopefully, I don't know. We'll see if I ever get those in the shop. Time will tell. Back here we have some Dischidia hirsuta and some Hoya rotundiflora. Here we have some Hoya Huschkiliana variegata. Like all of these eventually, hopefully, will be in the shop. This is Hoya burmanica. So when I first got the mother plants of this, I thought it was the Hoya pandurata. And then someone pointed out to me, they're like, well, that looks more like the burmanica. Well, sure enough, it's not the pandurata. It's like I don't know if it's like a subspecies of it, but it's very similar, but it's the Hoya burmanica. I have a bunch of those which are actually ready to go now, which I should be putting in my shop. So that will be very soon. Here's a bunch of Hoya linearis. I just want them to be more full before I put them in the shop. So you are getting your money's worth on these. Cute. I don't know, do you guys think they're full enough now to sell? Would you be happy with a plant that size? I just feel like they need to be like super full and lush before I put them in the shop. Oh, you guys tell me. What should I do? Should I list them? Should I just start listing them, or should I wait? I guess my fear is that you'll be disappointed when you get them. I don't know. Over here we have some Hoya. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Is the name on it? The name's not on it. Why isn't the name on it? Starts with a C. So the name will be on the screen. I can't think of it. I'm drawing a blank. And this looks like a serpens to me. Is that a serpens? Unmarked. Not sure. Here we have Lacunosa asami. Nicely rooted, but I want it to be fuller. I want them to be fuller before I sell them. This is another one, Lacunosa asami. And Amarillo, Lacunosa Amarillo. Amarillo, I think it's Amarillo. This is a pretty one. This is silver mint coin. And I believe those are also silver mint. And this is Hoya Tang Chongjensis. Tiny little leaf on that one. I wonder if it's, no. You know what? I think this is also the same as these. Same plant. And then these are just some old propagations, I guess. Like this is a rotundiflora. It's been in here forever. Houseplants yellow. Been in here forever. Got all hooked up with this Croniana black. Has been in here forever. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll start chopping some of these that have been in here forever and just start propagate from these. And a little Tradescantia pink panther. Next shelf, more Hoyas. Hoya Carmelet. Very slow growing. Are there any growth points? I don't, maybe, yeah, right? Maybe a little spot where it'll start pushing out some leaves. There's a root. It is rooted, just not pushing out any new growth yet. This is Hoya, oh, that's what it is. Qinghungensis. That's what these are. Qinghungensis. Pushing out new growth. Roots. Bunch of those, and here's some Hoya serpens. And this is cute. Another Hoya serpens. I like those tiny little leaves. Some Hoya Rebecca, a classic. I think the rest of those are Hoya Rebecca. And some Croniana Super Silver. Starting to finally, has a little growth point, little leaf. And Hoya Comengiana variegata. It's pushing out new growth. This is the same, except no new growth yet. Usually the growth just like pops out of nowhere. It's like not there, and then the next day it's like this. It's pretty crazy. Some Hoya Sunrise. And this is mine. This is a Thomsonii Splash. Not for sale. Although, I might have one on the grid. Oh, you know what? I do have one. I think I have one on that grid. So this could be for sale eventually. And we have Discidia One Stripe. This thing has been here a while. As you can see, it's huge. And this is a Hoya, I believe it's, I think it's the Nova Ghost. I think it came, I think this is the mother plant of this one, maybe? Or I just chopped it. I don't know. Both have really started growing. Hoya Nova Ghost. Isn't it pretty? Love that silver. This is from Tina. This is the Scindapsus Silver Queen she sent me. which I think, once again, it's too warm in the tent for this plant because a lot of my Scindapsus are getting kind of yellowy like that. I think it's too warm. A bunch of more Hoya Houseplants variegata back there on the right. More Discidias. This is Numularia variegata. And Platyphylla, I believe is the name on those. And moving up to the next shelf. All right, so up here we have some Thai pink lipstick plants, which are very rooted and growing very nicely. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, which will be in my shop. And that's some Monstera siltepecana. Which will probably be in my shop eventually. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And here is this is a Hoya sigillatus that has been in this, it's been in here forever. And it's finally putting out some growth. Like, it's been in there a year. It's been in here in a grow tent for at least a year. Same as this Rebecca. Finally pushing out growth. So I don't know why it took so long on those. So do you remember my Peperomia Hope? We propagated that together. These, okay, so this one is pushing out new growth, and this one actually I think did start rooting pretty well for me. Like if I pull on those, each of those stems, I get resistance, so I know that there's some rooting going on, but quite a few of these just aren't taking, and the stems that I put into the soil are rotting. But let me see if I can find all right, so well, the stem rots, but you see that root? Roots will come out of, like, not out of the stem, but out of the leaf petioles. And so even if the stem has rotted on some of these, I'm leaving them in hopes that like this one, the stem rotted, but I'm hoping that roots will still pop out of there, which I think they will. I think they will. I'm just leaving them. We'll see what happens on those. Not as easy to propagate as I was hoping. Not as easy, you would think, because they look so similar. These, no issue with rotting on these, issue with rotting on those. Back here is exciting. This is Hoya patella pink, pushing out new growth. Those will be in my shop. There's a root. There's like 5 of those back there. There's my Hoya caudata sumatra. I moved down here because it just like stalled growth, but then it put out, see that purple? That's a new leaf. It's loving it in here. It's my asparagus fern. This is Spartioides, Hoya spartioides. And it got root rot, so I'm rerooting this one. Another root rot situation here. Hoya undulata, which was a import plant. And a lot of my import plants suffered. This is a very sad string of turtles. I don't know. You would think it would love the grow tent, but not really. And then up here at the top, so this is a Hoya verticillata variegata, which was another one that stalled out upstairs, and I brought it down here, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a new stem that has shot out up there, and it loves the tent. This, I believe, yeah, that's a new leaf, new stem. So it loves it, and it loves Hoyas love humidity. This is some Echeveria bluebird that is just starting to, let me open this up for you. All right, so these are taking forever to start popping out growth, but as you can see, like see that right there? That is going to be a baby Echeveria bluebird, which happens to be my favorite Echeveria. That's a succulent, in case you didn't know. But I think like every single one of these these are single leaves, and every single one of them are starting to put out little nubs like that, except for just a couple. But I think it just takes forever. It's a long process. All right, so now we are going to the grid. My favorite part of the whole tent, my Hoya grid, my Hoya wall. It is just filled with Hoyas, all different types. So we have Hoya ingleriana, Hoya diptera splash, putting out growth, and most of these are putting out new growth. This is Hoya AH074, and this is, what is this one called? Hoya Dakie. And this one, it's a new growth point there. So cute. My favorite, this is the Hoya Freckle Splash. Yeah, Hoya Freckle Splash, so pretty. And this one, the stem has gone up here and it's popped up here and it's right there. We have Hoya Lima Splash. I'm going to be in trouble eventually when all these vines start intertwining. This is Hoya. This is the Elliptica Black Petiole from Tina. Tons of growth on that one. There's just so much to look at here. Hoya Hanier Pink. This is a new leaf, beautiful. Hoya Walliniana Variegata. These are new leaves. Hoya New Guinea Ghost. Put out this new growth here and these two leaves, and then it stopped. I'm looking to see, yeah, no new growth, it just has stopped. So hopefully that will start up again. Hoya, what's that? Beakensis Splash. And Hoya Patella Pink, which was in my IKEA Millsbow Wide. Moved it in here, can't wait for it to flower. It's all the way up here. And up there. It's gone. No, that's Hoya. That's the Elliptica. Right here. Here's some new Patella Pink leaves. And let's see, another Rotundiflora, Hoya Rotundiflora, more Houseplants Variegata. This is another Houseplants yellow, and it's going to flower. Yellow flowers. That's what the yellow means. It's going to have yellow flowers. Here we have Hoya Caneggiana Variegata. New leaves. Love this leaf. Love that pink. It's got a peduncle. It's got a peduncle over here. I notice when it puts out a peduncle that the leaves are stunted in that area. So these leaves most likely will not pop out because of that peduncle. I think. Maybe not, I could be wrong. And Hoya quinquenervia. My Hoya polyneura variegata still not doing anything. Although I thought I saw a little nub. So that's either a peduncle or new growth. I think it's a peduncle though. Let's see, Hoya crassipediolata splash. Just putting out right up, all the way up here. 2 new leaves, that's crassipediolata splash. Came all the way up there. And Hoya tangchangensis, my main plant, the mother plant. We looked at some babies. It's going all the way up here too, and putting out a bunch of leaves. And Hoya ganang gading. That's a new leaf. Another new leaf. And Hoya GPS 7240. New growth. Hoya griffithii splash. Stem is going somewhere all the way up there. I think it stops right there. It's going to put out new leaves. And what is this one? This was an import. I think it starts with a T. But that's one of its leaves up there. And it goes all, the stem trails all the way up there. All the way, like all the way up there. Very pretty though, isn't that gorgeous? Big leaves. And Hoya, sold to me as a Hoya fungii. Hoya lithophytica, coming out this way. This is Hoya EPC 319. This is a Hoya macrophylla splash. Let's see. Snow Queen, that's the Snow Queen. And she has put out some new growth here. New leaves. Not even hardened yet, still very soft. These two. This is the, I believe the Wilbur Graves, which has attached itself back up in here. Oh, I think that stops right there. And let's see, here's Hoya polyneura silver. No new growth on that one. I think I read that polyneuras don't like warmth, they like it cooler, so that could be the issue. This is Hoya fitchii. Attached itself there, is winding itself up. Verticillata variegata. And I think we looked at that quinquenervia, we looked at the Nova Ghost. This is a multiflora. This is my silver dollar. And let's see, Hoya silver lady. This is new leaves here. Croniana splash. And this I got in a trade. I forget the name of it. David Kumingii. Hoya VL9. Hoya Lyi, Lyi. Hoya Pandurata. This is the real Pandurata, not like the Brahmanica I told you about before, which I thought was a Pandurata. You can see, let me grab the Pandora, or the Bermanica. That is the difference. There is a difference. Bermanica has thinner leaves than the Pandora. And this is Hoya Michelle Splash. This is my very favorite leaf in the whole tent. Love this leaf. So beautiful. And she's got another one coming out up here. And another one right there. And another one, where is it? There's another one right there. And she goes all the way up to the top. She is a very aggressive grower. Love it. Love that plant. Hoya ring sand. Hoya sigillatus. And this came from plants.us. This is the Hoya calistophylla black dot. Love that one. Love it. My favorite one I got, Hoya I got from that company. That's a Scindapsus snakeskin. And Hoya Michelle. And I think I probably missed some Hoyas, but the very last one I'm going to show you, I saved the best for last. Not my favorite, but you'll see why. I mean, you'll see why I love it, even though it's not like my favorite Hoya on the grid. Are you ready for it? Right there. Look at those little egg beaters flowers. So this one, the name will be on the screen. I looked it up and I forgot the name again. Starts with a D, I think. But isn't that cool? Love it. And it's gonna bloom from there too eventually. The blooms take forever to open. It's just so cool. And that is the grid. And once again, I'm sure I forgot something. All right, last shelf. This is gonna go fast because my battery is low. My phone's gonna die. I took too long. This is variegated Frydek, Alocasia Frydek. The mama of those corms I showed you, the babies. This is a Philodendron Summer Glory. This is my Philodendron Florida Ghost, which is not doing great. And a Philodendron Pink Princess. And some Alocasias. The dragon, was that silver dragon, dragon scale, and cupria. And that's it. And I apologize for speeding it up at the end, but my phone is about to die. All right, so what'd you guys think of the grow tent? The grow tent is just my oasis. It's like, it gives me just the warmest, fuzziest feelings when I'm in there. It's just fabulous. And if you need a place where you need to grow out some plants, some propagations, or if you're thinking about getting your own like plant business, I mean, how can you not, when you have so many plants, your plants are constantly growing. You have to trim those plants. So I see it as, I hate throwing away cuttings. Like when I trim my plants, I just hate throwing them away. I just feel terrible. And if I can share them, if I can, these beautiful things that I'm otherwise going to throw in the trash, if I can get them out, to other people and they can grow them and they can enjoy them, I don't know, it just makes me feel so much better. So anyways, my point, is I know not everyone has, the space for a grow tent, but if you do, if you have the option, the possibility of doing it, I highly recommend it. It's just a wonderful place, not only for growing out your cuttings, your propagations, but to keep plants that otherwise wouldn't do well, like begonias, which may not, unless you live in a tropical place or a more humid environment, they're going to do better in a grow tent or in a cabinet. And it's just a great place to grow those plants. You saw I keep my Alocasias down there. I keep my a lot of begonias. I keep my Anthuriums down there, which my Anthurium collection is very much growing, and it's just a wonderful oasis, and I just love it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing it, seeing what's in there, seeing what's growing, what may soon be available in my shop eventually, and yeah. I really hope you enjoyed it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.